Welcome back, ladies and gents. As you will be aware of, if you've watched the previous session, the game crashed on November 9th, 2022, and I had to go back to one of the previous saves and play up to that point. Everything's not going to be exactly the same because you can't influence you can't make the AI do things in other countries. But I am at the point where I had just said I was going to pay off a loan when I reached 750. So I wanted to run at least and see if it would go past November 9th, and it did. So let's pay that bond off. We'll pay this one right here. January, February, yeah. All right, we're going to go from paying $6.91 a month or a day in interest from $6.91 a day to $6.21. So we saved us about $70 million a day. We're going to continue going on here. And one thing that I was looking at in the previous couple of videos is I had mentioned about the GDP. And our GDP is rising, and we do not want that because the higher the GDP, the more you pay in wages. So what I want to do is try to get my GDP stagnant or dropping. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to influence prices. First thing I'm going to do is influence prices. So we're going to lock food. Actually, food is the very last one I will do. We're going to lock timber, and we're going to set the price for timber to 30% markup, just like we had previously done for consumer goods. And we're going to lock electricity and set it for 30. Because what we're doing is we're forcing the cost of living for our citizens to rise, which means the earnings, the money they make, carries them less. You know, yesterday, if you earned $10, you could buy X amount of this product. Today, if you earn $10, you're going to buy X amount less of this product. So we're lowering the GDP, which in the in-game is GDP C, which is, I think the way Battle Goat means it is per citizen or per consumer. So we need to lower the purchasing power of each person in your nation. Their dollars need to buy less. And the way you do that is to raise the cost of items. And let's take a look here at our economy. We were at 5.7 the last time I checked this, and you see now we're at 5.5. So it is moving down slightly, and I did say 5 was the goal. Well, let's just keep going and see what happens. Of course, we're going to keep going on with Taiwan and selling them rubber, despite that we're losing money on it. All right, Lithuania. They want to sell us petroleum, and buddy, that's just too much. 47 to 67, that's just too much. I'm going to have to reject. I know you're an ally, but you got to do better on your prices. You already hate me. All right, neuroreceptive organs. Let's take a gander at this. I believe that'd be technology. I could be wrong. Yeah. Then let's look at science. Boy, it's not science, or is it warfare? Neuroreceptive organs? Okay, what in the world here? It's got to be one. Oh, wait a minute. Is that society? No. I thought it might be like RFID security. Neuroreceptive organs. Why can I not find this? trying to scroll down to get to. All right, it's not in military. It's not in. We looked in science. It's not there. Let's look in technology again, which is where I looked the first time. And I don't. Medical then. It has to be in medical. There we go. Woo! I was running out of places to look. Okay. Notice this is supportive public opinion. So this is something that will raise the approval rating, your domestic approval rating. And we need that because raising the prices like I just did here is going to lower that rating. So we got this leads to advanced electronic implants, artificial bio organs, which as you can see increases our cost by 5. We will get that eventually, just not now. Also, true artificial limbs is going to increase our cost by 5. And both of these, or at least this one is supportive, so the population likes that, true artificial limbs. All right, so let's look at what else we can do, because neither one of those look particularly inviting at the moment. And I never use these. I won't say never, but I prefer not to use these hover vehicles. Just personal preference. I don't know that there's anything wrong with them, but I just don't like them. I can't tell you why at the moment. I just don't like using them. I'm going to throw in... Yeah, I'm going to throw in electropolymer cooling. And we're going to press on. I'm going to make sure that we've got everything. All right, we need another... I'm going to throw in another America class. Philippines and Vietnam signed a ceasefire. Nigeria's declared war on Mali. Now, this may have happened previously, because I remember something about Mali, and I was saying I really don't know if that's Mali or Mali, but I say Mali. But it's just now happening in this game if it happened previously in another game. All right, we'll give you in the previous session. And let's look at here. All right, our expenses are 30, our income is 28. We should be able to sell more of those items on the... Look at industry goods are really our bread and butter right now. We still got 2 million in stock. Nigeria's declared war on Chad. 27 unused Air Force units. That would be... All right, so now we've got some Raiders. The B-21 Raider, I've got 27, which means I'm going to get rid of all other bombers, all other strategic bombers with the exception of the Raider. That's the only strategic bomber that I want. And come to think of it, we're looking good on tactical bombers and interceptors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let all of my Air Forces come out. We got 434 right now. And then I'm going to get rid of, for example, I'm going to get rid of all the Eagles, all the Falcons, all the Hornets, all versions, the C, D, A, whatever we got there. The B-2s. I can't remember if I built... Let's get rid of all these first to make a little room. That's 100 units that we're going to scrap. All right, now I want to look at if I've built the new... I've got 7 of these. These are the new tankers, so I can get rid of all the tankers also. Let's go down here. I can get rid of all the KC-135s. That's another 40 units scrapped. Now, we know we want the Storks. Let's put the Storks in reserve. Get them off the map. We know we want the CV Lightnings. Put them in reserve. Get them off the map. We want the F-22D Raptors. We'll get rid of those or put them in reserve. And we do want the C5s. These are all the 2538 C5s. So let's put them back in reserve. And, of course, we want the Raiders. The Globe Masters. And the FSTAs. We'll put them in reserve. Another 58 off the map. Now we're left with these Delta Raptors. We want them. Those are going to carry me for quite some time. We want to have these Global Hawks. We've only got 7 anyway. I want those. All right, now let's get rid of all these A Raptors and the rest of the Hornets. Another 18 we can get rid of. Get rid of the... let me take a gander here. I don't know if I've replaced the J-Stars yet with Patrol. Well, we've got this 7. I'm going to hold on to the J-Stars because of its immense range. You can see the Global Hawk only has a range of 5,500, and the J-Star says 20,000. So we're going to hold off on them for a moment until I can replace it with something else. So we'll put the J-Stars in reserve. These are just the ones we started with. I don't think we built any. I want to hold on to the 141s for now. And we'll get rid of the Lancers. All right, we still have 8 units out on the map. All right, here's a Poseidon. Get rid of the Poseidon. Actually, that's the one. If that's a 150, I'm going to put him in reserve. What have we got left? There's still 7 aircraft out on the map somewhere. Oh, no. It's not aircraft. Those are the 7 that are in Guantanamo. All right. Now, let's take a gander. That gives us... Let's get rid of the Stratotanker. All versions of it. That gives us 27 Raiders. We're going to want more. We're definitely going to want more, but I want to look if there's something else I can fill with right now. I think these are the... I think we're good to go. We're going to go ahead and throw in another 27 Raiders. Anything else we need to handle? Nope. Let's make sure they all took. They did. All right, Nano Construction. Nano Construction. I don't remember where I'm at. I think that might be technology. Let's take a gander. All right, so facility build speed up 2%. And that leads us to the interstellar ship designs, which is really something I'm not too concerned with in the game. Antimatter power generator, which I have used these, the antimatter, but again, as I explained, it takes 1 slot just for the generator, and then you only have 4, some kind of a what's the word I'm looking for? Out of a 6-slot hex, you only get 5 actual power generators, and 1 is a converter. That's the word I'm looking for. All right, and of course, we don't want androids. Eventually, I will research it just because it's there and it needs to be researched. But for now, we're going to go for something else. See, here's the thing. This does increase your healthcare rating by 2%, but your population doesn't like it, which leads to gene manipulation, which does nothing but lead to controlled gene mutation, and then they're strongly opposed. So if you're going to go this route, you better be prepared to take huge hits in your DAR, your domestic approval rating. And I think at the moment I'm not prepared to do that. I do want to put this in, even though it's unfavorable, because it increases my healthcare rating. But right now there may be something else we can use. I think we're going to go with vehicle refit is what I believe we're going to do. We'll toss that in. That will... vehicle fuel consumption minus 5%. So again, we're saving that petroleum, that all-important petroleum. We scrapped 161 units. It's going to save us money on upkeep. even though they're all in reserve. Let's take a look at this. It was 5.5. It still is. Domestic approval rate is going up. We may need to bump some things a little higher. You can see here, as always, it's our trades that are carrying us through the day as far as money is concerned. Australia wants to sell me timber for 9.7 and requesting 10.5. I am not short of timber. I've got a large excess of timber, in fact. And it's only, only about 0.30 million difference, 300,000 difference. Australia. Are you allied with anybody? I don't think you are. Nope, no allies, no enemies. Morrison. I'm going to have to reject because, again, we're trying to pay our debt down. That is our goal in this session, to pay, in this series, that is, pay our debt down. Also, I want to, before I forget, I've already forgot, I meant to do this at the very beginning. If the people who were having issues seeing the UI at my 4K resolution, the previous video and this video, has that helped any? Please let me know in the comments if you're able to see things better now at this resolution or at this UI setting, the way I've got it set up now. It's abnormal to what I normally play with. I'm trying to let you guys be able to see these numbers and graphics and stuff better. So please let me know in the comments if it is better for you. All right, Poland 27 requested 16, yes, because that's in our favor. And in fact, I'm going to go over to Poland and go ahead and auto accept everything. Spain is absolutely... See, I don't know why Spain is hostile to me. I have no idea. As I said, I've not done anything. I've not condemned anyone. I've not made any odd moves. Ireland hates me. But Spain is absolutely hostile, and there's no feedback in the game to tell me why an ally is that hostile with me. What about Italy? See, Spain is the only ally that absolutely hates me, and I have no indication in the game as to why. All right, Latvia, you're going to sell me petroleum 411, and it's just, I know I might have, no, do better, Latvia. France has declared war on Dominica. Well, we know, I've mentioned this before, that France likes to declare war here in the Caribbean. That is 7. I missed that. Where was that at? That was a submarine just shooting something, but I missed where that was at. I remember a long time ago. Okay, see, France declared war here some time ago, I believe it was. They may not have done it in this game, though. Because I'm pretty sure I can remember talking about how France declared war on someone down here. Let's see who they're at war with, France, that I'm talking about. Just what? No. Dominica. Okay, but I don't think... Previously, they did declare war on somebody, but I don't remember who it was. All right, nano manufacturing. It may have been Dominica in the previous session, because I did mention they were right next to them. And apparently it didn't happen in this session as I played through to catch back up to the same point. So they're doing it now. Let's look here, nano manufacturing. What does that lead to? Probably nano fabrication. Yeah, we're going to throw that in there. Build speed 45%. There goes Burundi. All right, we've got Romania. Wants some rubber. And you can see they're an ally also. This is not uncommon, actually, now that I think about it. Romania, for whatever reason, this guy hates me. Klaus. All right, so 59 and requested 110. No, sir. Nope. Not with you having that scowl on your face and wanting to negotiate with me. 40 and 170. That's terrible also. I got to reject that. And I'm going to stick with Taiwan. Speaking of which, we've got 3 unused Navy units. We do not. Let's look at Taiwan. Well, it looks like their holdings are a little less because China may be pushing back. Also, they're obviously pushing in here because the last time we checked, Japan had all this area right here because remember they had encircled the area Taiwan had. So China is finally pushing back. Looks like they're making a move south to the coast, and then maybe they'll turn west after that point. There's a whole lot of combat going on here. All right, Taiwan wants the rubber, and Thailand, they offered me 156 and requested 207. No, we're gonna reject that. I got my own debt to worry about. Congo's declared war on Ethiopia. Interesting. Slovenia. Slovenia. They offered 44 and requested 113. I don't think we can do that. I was thinking that... let me check something just for a moment here. Got my phone right here by me. Yeah, that's what I thought. The reason when Slovenia popped up, it just triggered something in my mind, and it baffled me for a moment what it was. But it's Melania Trump is from there. That's her, where she was born, where she's from, Slovenia. So I'm playing as Trump in this. So my wife is from Slovenia, so I probably should support them. But hey, if I'd have thought about it earlier, maybe. South Africa, man, you have been on a spree, just taking everything in Africa. You offer me 121 and you're requesting 206, and I'm going to have to reject. You have to do better than that because you've done nothing for me but caused a lot of headache in Africa. Oh, look at this. I did not expect Chad to be taking Nigeria to task like that. I always think that Nigeria can handle anything in Africa. But look at this. Chad is teaching them, isn't he? All right, Albania. Again, look at this. I'm just going to have to give it to you this time, since you are an ally. The Bahamas, 46 and requested 112. I like the Bahamas. I know we're losing money, but we're never, ever going to break even on rubber. It's just not possible to do because we don't have any rubber fields. We have to produce it chemically. And that's just more expensive than just regular farming. And that's always going to be the case. Congo's declared war on Cape Verde. I am a little concerned. I think Nigeria might lose this, and that's I don't think I've ever seen Chad beat Nigeria. It's interesting. I like, when things out of the ordinary happen, I do enjoy that. Again, I've looked at this before, and I don't like these, as I mentioned in the previous video, because of their combat time. It's so low. I think I might wind up throwing that in there, though. I'm talking about the... Yeah, you know what? Let's just deal with it now. I just won't go any further. I don't know what happened to Nigeria. Maybe they've got all their forces up here and out of supply. 2 unused Navy units. I don't know if that's true. Let's take a gander. It is. It seems to me in the past that you used to get a pop-up telling you what units were just completed. And I may need to reset my notices. Okay, this gives me... There, that'll give me the 7 American class that I want. Germany declared war on Czech Republic. I don't know, that's not gonna... That'll be over very quick. Speaking of which, now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, every 7 days. Autosave every 7 days. In case that game crashes again. I only got to go back 1 week. Unfortunately for this one, Colombia's gone. You know, I said I wanted Colombia to win that war, not Venezuela. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. I might have jinxed them. Congo's declared war on Gambia. They're just about gone. All right, Angela. Got that smile on your face like that. Pseudo smile, if you will. Yep, we know that. Taiwan wants the rubber. There's Czech Republic gone. Metal Storm Technology. Let's see what that leads to. That is... It said technology, but I think that is under weapons. Okay, that leads to Metal Storm weapons pods. Okay, Metal Storm technology does nothing. It leads to Metal Storm weapons pods, which is where that Storm Hunter comes in. And then you get the advanced Metal Storm, which leads to this unit. All right, well, let's go back. Let's see if that advanced Metal Storm is there. Because I may want to be able to supply some Storm Hunters to allies in the future. So let's throw that in. Like I said, one of the previous series videos, that the AI really enjoys that Storm Hunters for whatever reason. And the Vermont's only about 73 days away. I will switch all subs over. In fact, I've already gotten rid of the Virginia here. I had 2 Virginias in here, and they were on continuous build, and I turned that off because I wanted them both to come out so that I could put the SSN 52 in. Congo's declared war on South Sudan. Who is this? Tanzania. We're going to hold off on adding anything. Well, unless... Okay, I'm on... Oh, 200 days is long. And this is going to be... Well, I tell you what. We're going to throw something... We're going to put some... Oops. We're going to throw a couple of algos in there. Even though it's 200 days. I need that transportation capacity. Sea lift, as it's called. Sea lift capacity. And we just got voice control integration. Very good. Let's see what that opens up. I think I'm in military or warfare. Is that not warfare? No, it's not. All right, maybe that's transportation. Nope. Science. There we go. All right, that does nothing for us itself, but it leads to advanced computing inputs, which helps with the science healthcare costs +3. We don't want that right now. But going up to Mars, which really I really don't ever concern myself with these until it's the only thing left, because this is irrelevant to me. These do nothing for me in my current goal. So let's throw something else in there that I think may be useful. DNA computing, DNA programs, interstellar, molecular act. Now, I like this. All right, we'll throw this in there. I was trying to find, I didn't see it at first. I noticed that this was Tanzania, and there's got to be more. And then there's a little spot right here. Congo's declared war on Nigeria. Well, Nigeria is just getting wrapped by everybody. I honestly think they have all their forces up here, and that's what the problem is. They're all sitting up there out of supply. All right, notice I've got my 10 satellites in orbit, and I'm up to 98% communications and 94% for reconnaissance. So as they're continuing to position around the globe, spreading out to get continuous coverage all the way around, that will go to 100%. I don't need to build anymore. We're done with satellites until we can get the Star Wars defense system. All right, well, this is going to end it for this session. We paid off a bond, and we're already back up to 331. I think, yeah, everything's looking good so far. Are we still at 5.5? Still at 5.5? So what that means is I'm going to build, probably in the beginning of the next session, if I remember, I'm going to build a little bit more just to get a couple of more citizens employed. But until then, ciao.